I want to invest in you, and I'm hoping you'll invest in me. But the best way to do that is to share stories. So I'm going to share with you my story. I started out as an engineer, and while I was there, I was bored, so I started a musical theater company and grew that from 2 people to 140 people in about 4 years. But one of the things I noticed back then was I didn't feel like I fit in, and I felt a bit stuck in my job and stuck in terms of what I was trying to do. So after I left that, I figured out, well, now what am I going to do? And so I was searching. So I've always been a searcher, and I also felt lost trying to figure out what I want to do. I knew I didn't want to go back to engineering. So then I tried to get into film and television production because the musical theater stuff was a lot of fun. I thought, hey, you know what? I could be good at this. But I didn't have the right connections. I didn't have the right brand. I didn't have the right profile and resume that really fit because they saw engineer and that's all they saw. So I decided to get my MBA in marketing and build that up. And so I did that. And then after that, I decided to I tried to look for a job again in film and television, had trouble. So then I finally decided to decided to actually look for the next best thing, which was brand marketing. So I got my first job at Kraft in brand marketing cheese, and then I moved to Unilever for the Dove Master Brand campaign for Real Beauty. And again, I was feeling unfulfilled. And I was working very, very hard. I was working 80 hours a week, but I was working for someone else, and I didn't feel the fit, I didn't feel the gratitude, and I felt unfulfilled. And so I left that and tried to really think about what I want to do. And also at that point, health problems kind of came their way. My wife almost died of E. coli, and I became diabetic, and we had to revisit what our priorities were in life. And so finally, I dove in my personal brand, and I found a bit more about what it was I was all about. So I felt lost, I felt stuck, I felt unfulfilled. But then I invested time and energy into my personal brand, and it took about 3 to 6 months of feedback and analysis and reflection and all that kind of stuff. And then I found out that, Bobby loves people, Bobby loves persuasion and performance and presenting, Bobby loves diversity, and Bobby loves to nurture and help people. And so that's when I said, I need to become a professional speaker. And that's also when, at the same time, several people in the industry, I had speaker friends said you should be a speaker. My best friend said you should be a speaker. And when I worked in corporate, they said, hey, Bobby, you'd be pretty good at being a speaker. So, everyone was telling me this. I just wasn't listening. But when I dove in, it was on my own terms, and I was listening to what my heart was saying, what my feedback network was saying, what the computer analysis and assessments were saying, and what my experience stories were telling me. And as soon as I knew that, I started my journey as a speaker. And I haven't looked back. It's been 13 years, and it's been amazing. And so personal branding is something that is incredibly important. And that's why I want to share my story and share that journey because, 10 years ago, I taught about personal branding, and people were like, what is that? They didn't know what it was. And then 5 years ago, people would say, well, why is that important? I'm not a bar of soap, and, I had to explain what personal branding was. But now most people, not all, there's still 10% don't know what it is, and still 20% who don't know why it's important. But the most of you know why it's important and what it is. And you want to know, how do I do it? How do I leverage it? How do I understand it? And so that's why I started DYPB, Discovery Personal Brand, 5 years ago. We ran our first conference. It was an amazing, amazing day. I was really shocked how many people were there because personal branding is something that people need to know. They want to get more authentic. They want to connect. They want to differentiate themselves. They want to have a point of difference. They want more clarity. They want more focus. They want more impact and meaning. There's just so much. They want more fulfillment. There's just so much to having a personal brand. It doesn't matter where you're at, whether you're a student, whether you're a mid-manager, whether you're senior level, whether you're a CEO. Connecting with yourself and understanding who you are and what you stand for, making sure it aligns with what your current path is hugely advantageous and beneficial for your overall fulfillment, for your impact on the world, and your overall legacy and story. And if you want to have that impact, that legacy and story, investing in personal brand is huge. And so my story was like that. It was a struggle. And now here I am, and I'm doing what I love. I'm having the impact. I'm feeling very fulfilled when it comes to my career. And so that's why I'm doing these events. And so tomorrow in Toronto, we're having our 6th DYPB Discovery Personal Brand event. and it's in downtown Toronto. I have some amazing speakers coming from all across North America. Lila Smith, Dr. Bryn Weingard, Carrie Twigg, Alexander Michael Gittin, and Michael Hainsworth. And they're coming to share their knowledge on how to be an excellent communicator, how to be great at legacy, neural leadership, influence, communication, and a lot of and personal branding and thought leadership. And that's what I'm going to talk about. So if you want to join us, please do. I'd love to have you there. You can check out the links. Check out the links at dypb.ca/poc, or I'll share some links below in the content. And yeah, that's my story. And doing these personal brand events, and when I speak at private events, but this is the first public event, one of the few public events where you can actually access my talks and access me and ask any question you want to help you in your career, in your business, in your senior leadership profile to take yourself to the next level. So if you want to join me and the other people, please do, and let me know what you think, because and while we're at it, why don't you tell me your story? What's your story in terms of where you are, where you've been, and where you'd like to go? Because if I can help you, I will. And if you can help me, great. Let's work together and help each other out. All right. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care.